Hello. Recently I did a video and some updates of the tiny home, and several of you reached out and asked me to take you on a bigger tour. Since I've been living here 3 years and I've gotten used to the organization, I am able to share kind of what I've learned in this 3 years that may help someone else who's thinking about tiny home living. So let me take you on a tour and show you some of my absolute tiny home favorites. Come on, let's go. So welcome. This is coming through the front door. This is a 25 by 8 travel trailer that has been converted to a tiny home. And it has a farmhouse appeal and style. And I love it. I have been adding color as we're going into the fall. And I just felt the need for not all black, white, and gray. So you'll see pops of color around that really enforce how I live. Bloom where you're planted. Wherever you are, the middle of winter, in a tiny home, whatever's going on, there's the ability to bloom where you're planted. So this is what I call the main living area. I'm literally standing on the steps out front because if I step in, you'll see the space is not huge, but it's just more than enough for Milo and I. And there's so much storage that I'm able to winterize. I have a shed. I love clothing. I love shoes. So I'm continuously migrating things out of the tiny home and into the shed. You'll see right now, my sandals are here. My Birkenstocks sit right by the front door because we're in and out all the time. But with winter coming, I'm also slowly starting to bring my boots and my sneakers in. And there's little places to tuck these things. Because in the PNW, it's all about layering. We're never done with one season here, it seems. Right now, I'm wearing a dress and no shoes. But this morning, I was bundled to the hilt. And by this afternoon, I'll probably be stripped down to a tank top and shorts. That's just the way of it. So it's all about layering, which makes it a little harder to be able to truly store things because we're constantly shifting. Now we're moving into the kitchen. I've just stepped into the front door and I'm gonna close it. And this is the little kitchen area. So I'm moving towards the dinette now, and you can see I have my trash, my hooks for Milo's stuff, my broom, my Swifter, my keys, his leash, everything. And I've got all my supplements and vitamins, which are very minimal, and I'm always cleaning. I'm such a neat freak. Everything stays clean. If you come over here, it's usually like this because this is how I live now. It's only me. It's very simple and easy to keep it organized. And I am a type A. I have my electric kettle that I love. To me, it's almost like art. I love to turn it on and just watch it. It's so pretty. This is one of my absolute, well, two of my absolute favorites for tiny home living. These little hooks with these little rings. All right, we're going to turn this off because it gets noisy. These little hooks with these little rings are so incredibly helpful. The hooks themselves, you buy them in a pack at like a Home Depot or an Ace Hardware, and they literally have a clasping clip on the end. Most people use them for curtains or perhaps to hang things like you know, lingerie and whatnot after doing laundry, but I use them on so many things. And my second favorite thing that is a must are these microfiber cloths. Now, I use them for everything. I don't care if you're in a tiny home or not. They are so powerful because they obviously can be rewashed and reused. They don't leave lint behind. They wash windows without any product on them, so you just put hot water on. They literally do everything, you guys, and I'm very minimalistic in cleaning products as well. I tend to use essential oils or Myers But with these microfiber cloths, I don't really need product at all. I just simply use the cloth and hot water, and that will do a bang up job of shining pretty much anything and keeping everything naturally restored. I have an RV microwave, but I tend to use my air fryer more than this, so this tends to become more of a storage area, if you will. But I do have it, and it's here, and I love it. I have a full stove, which works, but again, I'm more around my air fryer, so this tends to become more storage than anything. Obviously, I have a Keurig and all my mugs for when people come to visit. I have a lovely refrigerator and freezer, which is more than optimal for Milo and I. Since I'm fasting most of the time anyway, it's typically full of water and very minimally full of much more. But I do have things here in case I have guests. Now, I use the freezer in an interesting way. So in a tiny home and without immediate access to a trash bin, I often will put things in there that one would traditionally think of as trash that I don't want to attract flies. So I will stick it in the freezer, and that becomes my once a week trash dump. So if I have bits of meats or veggies or things that are going to attract bugs, I throw them in the freezer because it's usually empty except for ice. And then it makes less of an issue with bugs, and I always have access to grab it and take it to the dump. My bathroom is very tiny, but it has everything I need. I have a full working toilet. I have obviously plenty of storage in here, and I do have a tub and I do have a shower. However, they're very, very tiny and access to them is limited. And what I mean by this is, with this type of RV that has not been outfitted for a tremendous amount of water, which I could do, I get approximately a 7 to 8 minute hot shower. So filling this tub is not a possibility for me right now, the way that it's outfitted. Certainly that could change with some improvements, and I may do that. But for right now, I'm trying to minimalistically do any changes or modifications to this because I am intending to fully build the proper home, tiny home that I want, with all of the modifications I'm mentioning here, like a full working washer and dryer unit, etc. So for right now, this serves its purpose. You will see that, again, I'm very neat and very organized. When you get inside the bathroom, it is tiny. There's no room. I will show you my feet in the door. That's how much space I have. There's the door wall. So when I close this, again, it just being me, so I don't really have to do that unless Milo's being really obnoxious. The space is very tiny, but again, it has everything I need. I utilize these hooks for most of my clothing that I wear regularly. So I have most of my dresses that I grab and throw on, my sleepwear, and things that I can easily access. And I'm constantly shifting clothing out, and I will talk to you about what that looks like for me. But this is what works. And again, I'm giving you a much deeper dive here than you probably ever wanted, but these are bunk beds. The intention for this is, if it's used as a travel trailer, obviously to be able to allow others to sleep. But I have converted it to all of the space that I need for all of the things. You'll see back there my air fryer. I have my Reflectix that go in the windows when it gets too hot or cold, which really help and are amazing, by the way. I have all of my clothing. Right now we are in autumn, so I have a blend of clothing because it's all about layering in the PNW right now. These things are incredible. They are little damp bags. and I spray essential oils on them. They help obviously with a damp environment, and they also eliminate any type of damp odors. So I love to keep essential oils everywhere, and I use them on a lot of things. These little damp pots are incredible. I put them around. I have one in the shower, and I have one in here, and I have one in the bathroom, and one in the living area. And then I just clean them out regularly. This Ozium I use very minimally if I need to, and it's more if it gets to smell too much like dog in here. I will do a good air out. I'll open all the windows and really just Ozium it a bit, and then I'll essential oil and clean. This is mid-storage mess. So this is what my mess looks like. I don't know what other people's mess looks like, but I am continuously shifting things out clothing-wise. And so I keep a stack. This is all my summer stuff that I'm still kind of wearing. Most of it has been put in the shed, but I keep it here because the autumn stuff is coming out and I don't have room for both, and that's fine. I find if I roll clothing, it stores much easier and it doesn't get wrinkled. And then I have a quick access point to grab things and go to the laundromat, to whatever I'm doing that day. And it's pretty amazing because I am a clothing horse, I am a shoe horse, and I just was not willing to give that up because I had so much of it. I got rid of a lot of it, but I am very happy that I have what I have. And I have a rule since I moved into the tiny home. If something new comes home, 2 things have to be taken to Goodwill or gifted. I do not ever intend to get to the state that I was in prior to this, emptying a huge suburban house that was just a disaster. Here's my coats and my jackets and all of the things that I need to grab. Again, we're in mid-season, so I have a blend of options here, anything from summer cover to flannel, to suede, to leather or pleather. And I just am constantly, again, shifting this out. Right now it's really stocked full because I'm in the change of seasons again. Lots of drawers like these. I love these. This one's pretty empty right now, but normally this is full of Milo's treats and bones. So obviously I'm failing in that department right now. But this is normally full of all of his little marrow bones that I pull out when he is needing something to distract him from what I'm doing. I love being able to cook here. I love being able to bake here, and having things on the wall makes it more effective when you need to measure things and grab and go. This little basket, although it's decorative and cute, it's full of little things that I need to access quickly. I've got wine mugs up there and candles and things like that. So I'm constantly shifting things out, but it looks neat and organized, and that's the way I like it. This is my work sitting client session area. And even though I keep it decorated because I love the way it looks and it keeps things out of my cabinets, it's very easy to remove these items and utilize the space, and I do. I have my indoor fireplace. I actually have 2 of them. This one actually allows me to change and modify the temperature, and I like that because I can put it on whatever temperature I want, and I can choose to have the fireplace on or not. It emits a lot of heat, which makes it cozy in here without expelling a ton of electricity. It's very cute. It's super light, and I can move it around in the tiny house if I choose. So some mornings I will put this right outside the bathroom and just get it super toasty in here so that I'm ready to shower and get myself ready for the day. So that's a great little addition that we actually purchased at the end of the winter last year. These benches lift. Underneath here, there's more storage. I'm not going to open it right now because you have to take the cushions, etc. off. So it's not where you want to put something that you need to access all the time. Perfect for tools or winterizing or whatever, but I do have the she shed, and that gives me a lot of space. It's got a loft in it, and I'm able to store things much more effectively. I just pulled all my boots out again. Again, going into fall, I've got my cowboy boots, which I love. Are they not gorgeous? Gosh, I love these guys. I've got my snow boots ready to go, and I've had these I don't know how many years, but they're my favorites. And I can't remember where I bought them to replace them, so I just continuously get them repaired because I love them so much. And then I've got my fun boots and my Doc Martin boots. So I am ready for autumn. And you see, I just pulled all of that out from my little hiding area under here where there's storage. Pretty amazing how much you can put in here when you're organized. So let's go in. And this is the other side. This, by the way, this other side pulls out and it is a full-sized bed. So if I have somebody come again, this table comes down. This is a futon, it extends, and there's plenty of space for someone else to come sleep. The view out my windows is incredible. I stare at nature all day, and I'm so blessed by this, which was why I fell in love with this spot when I found the tiny home. Again, I have so much storage. I'm blessed in the storage that I have in here. These are full of foods and pantry items, books, things that I access, you know, pretty regularly that aren't in the shed, and they allow me to keep things tidy and organized. You'll notice I do not own a TV. That's intentional. I have my laptop, I can stream, I have my iPad, and I don't watch a lot of TV, if much at all. So I have Netflix and Hulu and YouTube, but I do not have a TV, and I am not subscribed to any type of outfit that supplies that, and it works for me. Coming into the bedroom, I have the ability to close these if I want to make the room a little bit darker, or if I have someone overnight and I want to give them privacy because they're out here in the full bed or in the twin beds. So this allows me to just pull this shut. This is on a tension rod. Number 3 of my fave items that you can utilize in a tiny space and move around. So again, this could be on the bathroom door instead of using the bathroom door or something to that nature. And I did the same thing on the outside of my clothing. Again, that, to come back over, is all just curtains on a tension rod. And just by closing this, tidies up the space, but again, always giving me quick access to what I need. I hope that by doing this, you guys can really see the size constraints, which I don't have a problem with, but you definitely need to feel good about living in small spaces. Again, tons of storage, never an issue. Everything I need, everything I have to get access to. That's probably my messiest pantry because I'm in there multiple times a day when I'm making teas or coffees. Into my bedroom. This is my second fireplace. This one is pretty cool, but it doesn't have a thermostat on it. I love it for when I'm in here reading or meditating and I just want a chill space. It doesn't allow me though to set the temperature, so I don't like falling asleep with that one on because it gets too hot for me. It just kind of blasts non-stop. There's a 1 and a 2 setting on it, and it's darling and I love it. So it's more for looks and appeal and coziness than functionality. But if it's really cold and I've run out of propane, I can turn that sucker on and I am set. Looking out my window, I've got my extra living room. You can see my little bubble out there, which I'm not taking you out to today, but it's yet another little living space that I can put my heaters in. I have a heat buddy that I'll take out there, and I love sitting in that when it's snowing and raining and storms. So Milo and I will go in there and enjoy watching nature from a bubble. At night it glows, it's beautiful, and it's everything I need. This is what I look out to in my bed. my critters, my deer, my hummingbirds, and my birds. I have my hammock right outside the front door, which I often come in and out of client meetings and grab my book, and there I go. Milo's out there right now. He loves being outside. He's on his leash, he's safe, and I can see him from where I am. And it looks like he's gotten into the trash, so he's gonna get some timeouts in a minute. Speaking of, here I have a little jump up spot for Milo. He's getting older and he was having a tough time jumping up and down. So I've put some nice little carpeting there for him to make it easier. You can see I've got a drawer there, which is full of hair bands and things. I have the ability to utilize storage all over this tiny. I mean, literally, again, more cabinets, more opportunities to hang things. My hats are all on the wall so that I can quickly and easily grab them and go. And yes, they're cute on the wall, but I do wear them. They're real hats. This is real life. So it's not about decoration, even though it turns out to be a decoration. It is my true life. It's how I live. I've got an extra little blanket up here, my thick cozy socks, my darling Teddy, and yeah, I'm pretty set. My bed is a queen. It is the most comfortable bed I've ever slept in. I call this the womb tomb because when you climb in here, you feel so cozy, you do not want to get out of bed. And this becomes like a day bed for me. So this is more of like a couch bed area where I spend a lot of time reading, meditating, and sleeping. Over here I have yet another high cabinet that's full of my hanging pants and dresses. I've got my favorite quote from the Angels, "Breathe and don't resist," on the wall. I had this customized, just like I had the Stay Open customized, and it arrived and I spray painted it to match the decor. Totally off Etsy, and I love it. It just speaks to me when I'm in bed. It's the last thing I see when I go to sleep, and it's the first thing I wake up to. Again, more of my favorite hats that I wear. Over here, I'm going to show you some of my faves. So I've got a little tuck-in spot under this particular drawer. It probably at one time was another drawer, but I love the little spot because I hide my little vacuum under there, and it makes it easier for me to grab it and pull it out and do some vacuuming. Over here, I have a traditional cutting board, and I will lay this down on my bed for my cup of coffee in the morning, and it makes it easier for me to have stability when I'm doing my journaling in the morning, which is also right here. This is a little stand for my iPad. My laptop fits perfectly on there, and then I can do all of my charging right here for my phone, my laptop, anything else I need. My absolute faves are my eye masks. They're right here by the bed. This one I love. It literally charges, and it's a Bluetooth. So I have AirPods, which I love, but when I meditate, I fall asleep. And these don't hurt your ears. You have little sound waves coming through the ears, but you have the pocket, and it charges and Bluetooths to your phone or your tablet or your computer. And for us ladies, or even guys who have long eyelashes, it has embedded little slots so that you can literally be blinking in here without disrupting your lashes. These little hooks, first bought them at IKEA. I've since found them on Amazon, and I love them, and yes, I use them. I have the ability to store things here, and again, more hats, all of which are worn, all of which are my favorites, and yet they're so pretty. This is one of my favorite hats, Kindness Matters. Here's another of my favorites, Stay Open, Good Vibe Tribe, Wild and Free, my beret. All of these hats get worn. My summer hats. This is all storage. This is where all my sweaters and my heavier items are starting to come in, but this was just full of summer stuff. So the switch out is happening, and that's why I decided to do the video, because I'm in the process of getting it organized again. So I think that covers some of the major loves that I have. Obviously these hooks and these are so pivotal. Command hooks are a powerful thing, I will tell you, and Velcro strips are a powerful thing. It's a bit messy out here because I've got stuff out here that I'm moving to the shed, including some trash and some bags, so I'm gonna try and avoid showing you that. Oops, light's still on. Let's turn that off. My shed is just a few feet away. You can see it. And again, it's always about shifting things out. Winterizing, summerizing, fallizing. I'm just going through it right now, cleaning things. The tarp is gonna be coming back over the top of the RV to protect it from all the leaves and things that are gonna come with snow and ice. So that is underway, and just getting it winterized and ready. Fall is upon us, and it comes fast in the PNW. It's like summer one day and winter the next. We don't really have a big fall. My critter area, you can see how close it is. I'm standing right in front of my hammock. I have my beautiful little sitting area out here. Obviously, my bubble. The trees are always inviting us out, so we spend more time out here than we ever do inside, or we're on the go. So it's not like the tiny space is an issue. These greenway areas are magical. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They're magical. And I feel blessed that I get to visit and explore them every single day. We do have coyote here. We have fox, we have deer, we have bunnies, we have chipmunks, squirrels, every kind of bird you can imagine. My beautiful owl who sits right in this tree here, and I climb that stump that you can see where my swing is, and we have lovely little coffee chats. We've gotten used to each other. My hummingbirds, same thing. If I'm outside and they hear my voice, they will come right up to me. I have one feeder right in my window, and that's the bedroom window that I showed you. You want to come in, Milo? Milo is not allowed to explore on his own right now because, come on, inside. Because not too long ago, this little guy took off down the driveway. This was last season. And he decided to go down that gravel driveway right there and ran all the way down to the end where it leads to Highway 92, which is right headed to the mountains. It is a very heavily trafficked road on a very busy, always busy, and it's not a safe place for humans, let alone dogs. So he is no longer allowed to just roam. He is now restricted to being on some kind of a tie so that he is safe. And that is just the way we roll now, right, Milo? You've lost the power to just run off, haven't you, bud? Milo is my companion. He's my best friend, and he is a bed dog. He's a cuddler and a snuggler, and he is constantly bathed. He goes to the groomers so that my place doesn't smell like dog. Right, Bubba? See it? Oh, you want a treat? He has his own little treat jar right here by the front door. He knows this is where his treats are. And he knows if he goes out and does what he's supposed to, sit, he gets one of these. Good boy. I know you're not supposed to eat in bed, but luckily he doesn't leave crumbs. This is where I tend to work when I don't feel like setting up the bigger table. So I've got my laptop. That's all, Bubba. Go lay down. And I've got this cool little table that I made, and it's actually just boards. And I bought 2 handles, and I made it into a traveling desk or a serving shelf. And it's so cool because if I have someone over and I want to offer them tea or something and I want to take it out to the table, I can use it for that. And then when I'm done, I can literally store it on the side of my bed, down where my feet go, and it takes no space. So it's a great little addition that I actually made myself. Love it. I think that's it, you guys. I tried to cover a very thorough, probably more than you ever wanted to see, version of the tiny home. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you got some ideas if you're thinking about going tiny yourself. I hope that you realize this is a very doable option, even if you have an animal, and that you will both be very happy here. Certainly my dog is as compact as my home. So I see people who are moving into these with like 2 huge labs. I can't imagine that with the dog hair and all those things, but I'm a neat freak. You can see I keep it tidy. I even, as I was giving you guys the tour, was noticing I need to go over the cabinets really good because there's stuff that's streaked and spilt and whatnot that I would like to clean up. And that's what I'm gonna do after I finish talking to you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for coming.